guys, Coach Becca here from Powerline. Wanted to talk to you this week again about another theme of going back to basics, and today we're going to talk about spins for pitchers, and why they're so important. When it comes to movement pitches, when it comes to fastball, when it comes to increasing speed, so many kids are talking to me about what they can do to get that next level, that next edge, right? And basically what I come back to is, let's make sure we're spinning the ball as tightly and as properly as possible, right? So something that I've been kind of going back to this fall especially is making the kids really use the spinner, making the kids really use the lined ball, and then making the kids use something that I've been introduced recently by our recruiting coordinator, Michelle Hawkins, is the zip ball, which is a great tool that's off softballexcellence.com. I would highly recommend it, especially for my older kids who are working on trying to increase that spin, right? So, let's talk about why spin is so important. Obviously, we're looking for tightness of spin for movement, but also for speed and velocity. We want to generate that zip into the glove that's going to make these kids swing and miss, right? And how do we get that? By making sure that we're on our fingertips as much as possible, not getting down into the fingers. So, that's why I think the spinner is so great. Whether you're just looking to practice your fastball spins and trying to get it to spin over the top and have that hockey puck style flip, right? Or whether you're a little more advanced, you have your curve, you're trying to make that spin rotate, right? Getting fully around it to where we're having that great flatness to the spin, that underspin for rise, where it's nice and flat coming through. These spinners are great, right? So, if you end up getting a spinner, by all means, practice, 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 and you don't need somebody else to practice, right? You can do it by yourself, and that's why I'm showing you all these things today, right? So, these spinners are great. They've got the horseshoe side seam, they've got the two-seam side, right? And then obviously if you have a four-seam type pitch that you're looking at, there's two flat areas in the middle where you can just kind of hold on, yes? So, whether you're working on fastball and you want to grab the flat sides and just kind of work on flipping those fingertips over the top, getting that spinner to just seam, or go seam over seam, right? Or if you're working drop ball, you're doing the exact same idea, but fingertips down, getting that seam over seam spin so you can catch it to yourself, okay? If we did curve, getting on my two-seam, or getting on my horseshoe, right? Working my way around to where I flatten it out like a hockey puck. If you're having trouble getting out of your head, or getting it out of your hand, excuse me, think like pizza dough. Toss it up like they're working that pizza dough around, right? Have you ever seen that in an Italian kitchen, or maybe like a pizza place in New York, something like that, right? They toss that pizza dough up, right? We can kind of think the same idea for curve, right? Screwball, we're thinking similarly, but the opposite direction with a more emphasized finger of middle, right? Not thumb. Thumb for curve, getting around. For middle, for screwball, we're looking more at that middle finger coming back. Again, working on the flatness of that spin, right? Obviously, we talked rise ball is more getting underneath. So, this guy, the spinner, fantastic tool, one I would definitely recommend. You can get them online at a couple different places, right? Now, say you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have that, but I want to work on my spins. Well, get a regular old softball, get some tape, put it around the middle, work on the same concepts, right? Basically what this is just kind of taping up what the spinner would actually be a part of. So, try to get that spinning line to work the exact same way the spinner is, right? When we're talking curve, if you're on the horseshoe, working around, trying to get that flattened line. If we're on that rise ball idea, working underneath, trying to see that flattened line. Right? Same thing, screwball, working around. Try to get that flattened line. Okay? Drop ball, straight line down. Fastball, straight line forward. Making sense? Use tools that let your eyes help you so your brain can take a break. Right? How many times are we thinking, hey, is that right? And we're just looking and we're seeing that that pitch is in a spot that we like. And we're going, yeah, it's right, it's good. Well, you didn't even look at the spin, you didn't even know if it was moving the exact way that you wanted it to because you're not noticing it. Let's take the time to really notice those small variations in spin, right? The last thing I'm going to show you here, these little zip balls which I introduced sooner, they are teeny tiny, but they have a good weight to them so that they feel similar to a regular size ball. But this tiny size makes it to where you have to be up into your fingertips and really rotational out of those fingertips to get the spin that you're looking for. Whether it's just around for that curve, whether it's underneath for the rise ball, whether it's back, around for that screwball with that middle finger, right? Getting onto a seam, getting rotational, getting that small ball up out of your hand, really working on tightness of spin, right? So, again, let's go back to basics this fall and let's get better with our spin so we can increase our speed, so we can have really sharp breaks that are allowing the batters to look foolish and making us look fantastic, especially in front of those colleges for our recruits, right? And of course, getting us the locations that we deserve and letting us have the confidence to shine through it. Let's go back to basics. I'll see you guys next week.